Hey, welcome back to Second Run Gaming. I'm Austin and we're here yet again with another episode of Massive Chalice. We're at year 149, which is crazy. 150 years in, moving at a much faster pace than that first playthrough, mostly again because I'm just not explaining as much. Feel like you guys kind of get the gist of things. Really just trying to not die. That's the main bit right here. We've got a vacancy in the Sage Rights Guild, and I'm just going to double check and make sure we don't have anybody to throw in there. We could put Zeke in there now, but again, if Zeke is inducted, we're going to lose the relic that he might get because he won't be a part of the Foxfires anymore. Michael is a potentially good one because we did not pick Michael for our regent, and he is at the age of 48. He's got 11 intuition, which is pretty nice. I'm going to see over here. That being said, our Foxfires are pretty old. I want to check our heroes just to make sure that we've got enough Foxfires to where that's not a bad idea. So Andrew is in our vanguard. Zeke, we're waiting on that relic. Sushing is almost 60. Iris, Michael, Amy, Lysander, Izara, Karis, Zem, Ben. Honestly, we've got a lot of Foxfires. So I feel okay if Michael is inducted. He hasn't really fought with us. He's not really going to add anything to the table, unfortunately, but he's got great intuition, and we might be able to make use of that. But I'm going to look at AO Burns. We want to keep AO for a while, and Neo. I don't like Neo's abilities, so instead, just to keep Michael, just in case something happens, I'm going to throw Neo Shiota, since he has no relation to anybody out here. Okay.
It sounds like this one might have been killed by their own experiments.
If I was a sage right, that's how it
Dang,
would go.
and you know, it's almost as if fate was telling us to do such a thing, but we've got another vacancy, and so I'm gonna throw Michael in there. We don't do it too often, but we're gonna do it to keep our research fast.
Our power is half what it needs to be to cleanse this world of the cadence. This calls for the horns of Halves.
Don't let this get to your head. We still have a long way to go. And it's not going to get easier.
Too many battles have been lost because victory was assumed and not assured.
You know, to be honest, I've been thinking about it just as in my own personal headcanon, but I'd like to think that the omnipotent Chalice, like, they are obviously magic, and so I'd like to think that they have, like, I don't know, the ability to just time travel. And so when we died our last time, I'd like to think that they basically just, you know, snapped their fingers that they don't have and just reround all the way back to the beginning. But I like that foreshadowing where it's like, you know, battles are lost when victory is assumed and not assured. Because I 100% was like, we're probably going to make it. We've got it last time. And so I wasn't preparing as much as I should have. Either way, though, the horns of Halves have spoken. We are halfway there. Which is terrifying because shit started to really hit the fan in that last playthrough right about 10 years from now. So we'll see. As long as we don't wipe on any of these upcoming battles, I'll feel decent. Alright, ready your hunters for envious looks because their advanced armor is finally finished. Let's check out here. So what's really cool is we've researched all the armor that we can, I believe, except for the alchemist armor. Damn it, forgot about that. One really cool weapon, I don't know if we're ever going to research it, but the Time Fist. The caber in the right hands can already induce hour-long blackouts. What if it could knock enemies into next week or later? With some harvested Twister arms, this nightmare could become reality. The Time Fist isn't necessarily a great weapon, but it's really fun to use, especially on the easier difficulties, because it'll knock your enemies back into time, and so they'll disappear for a few turns and then come back later. It can actually mess things up, but I always like Massive Chalice for just the weird stuff that they have. I don't think you could research everything in one playthrough, obviously, but you can specialize in certain things in each playthrough that you do. I think we're going to finish up with our advanced alchemist armor just to get that armor really set, and then after that we're going to pivot straight to weapons, and that is probably going to be the majority of our available time, at least in this 100-year batch.
Last longer than bloodlines.
There's a technique I know, the Forearc, that came from a standard 7 generations before me. Todrick Selwyn.
I don't know him.
Nobody does, but they know his techniques.
Alright, so Paul has passed away. He made it to almost 80. And like I said in a previous episode, I'm really going to try and get someone with a lot more experience this time around to go in here. And then we're going to look at the personality traits, but I'm going to try and keep in this top row of units, these level 5s and 4s, because I want to start getting more XP per year into our trainees. So Christie's okay, but they have the potential to pass on Young at Heart, which I like, Patriotic, which is also nice, but Sluggish, which isn't as good as I'd want, because it's reduced evasion. Andrew, all amazing qualities. It would take him out of our Vanguard, which means that that relic that he has wouldn't be necessarily in use for a little while, which I'm not a huge fan of, but his personality traits are really nice. AO has the cocky trait, which I'm not a huge fan of. We have an interesting proposition with Zeke, since Zeke is not going to be in our group. It's 71 XP per year as opposed to 83. And it's half the amount of personality traits. Wily is nice because it's increased evasion. Patriotic is really nice because it's just increased everything. Young at Heart, though, prevents the impact of age on stats, which I really like. And Stalwart, which means this hero's defense berry increases armor effectiveness. But since Andrew's currently in our Vanguard, and he has the relic that we're trying to level up, and Zeke's relic isn't going to show up until he passes away, plus he has that longevity thing, I think we're going to throw Zeke in here first, and just keep him there. We've got 3 years left on our research. White Damp, partner of Brian, has passed away. Brian, who was once a 22-year-old young buck who we barely saved from the clutches of a keep attack, is now almost 60. Still got that high fertility, which is impressive. I think Trisha's really our only shot. She does not have great stuff going on, unfortunately. And Christy actually does. The same deal. She has our relic. Damn, that's tough though. Because her stats are much better. And Trisha's are kinda trash. Specifically for hunters. I might come back to bite me, though, if we don't have that relic in hand for the next battle that we face. It's likely that Brian is only going to have 1 or 2 more kids, so I'm not going to feel too shitty if they get some bad traits passed to him. So I'm going to throw Trisha in there for now. Especially because we're at that weird, risky spot where we started to run into problems with our battles, not with our keeps in the second half of this game, which is the opposite of what I was expecting. And so I think having a strong Vanguard, specifically right now in this crunch time, might be really necessary. Swiss has passed away. Swiss was holding on to Blood Tear, our newest relic. So we're going to see who we can pass it on to. I'm loving the Zelicars for their names. We've got Aaron, Obsidian, Olivier, Jared. Well, let's look here. Aaron, Bountiful, so I might want to keep him. But I like his Quick Study, I like his Patriotic, I like his Alert, but I like that he is Bountiful and can also pass on all of those wonderful traits, because that means he's going to be a really good Regent. Obsidian is also Bountiful, but weirdly enough has no personality at all. So maybe Obsidian. Olivier, Strong-Willed and Nimble, Pessimistic, all are really good traits too. Jared, oh, our Zelicars in general have some decent traits. Layla, increased but slow. Mershawn's only 11, so I think it's going to be Olivier. I could give it to Obsidian, but again, if something does happen where Aaron and Obsidian need to be, one of them is like a regent, one of them is a partner to some other regent, it's good to keep both of the bountiful guys in here, and since Obsidian doesn't have any personality traits, I mean, none of them are bad, so I think Olivier is going to be who we're going to go for. He doesn't have any bad traits, which I really like, but he's not bountiful, so he's most likely not going to be thrown into the regency. It's just interesting with those relics because we're really picking our vanguard by doing that.
This is why it pays to always have your heroes on standby.
Getting out of the capital will be victory enough for them.
Okay, so again, we don't have too much of a choice here. Two of the regions that are being attacked don't have cadence spread on them. One of them does, and it's got our keep. We get a 21-year-old hunter. We're fighting seeds, lapses, and wrinklers. I feel good about seeds, lapses, and wrinklers. As we've played this more, I've started to realize that I really don't mind lapses too much. Seeds I can always fight, and wrinklers are really bad if they can, you know, hurt your guys a lot, but in comparison to some of the harder knocking enemies, specifically cradles and bulwarks, I'll take them any day. So we don't really have too much to pick here. Olivier is the one that's holding our relic, so we're pretty much locked in with these five. We got Christy, Abel, Leanne, Olivier, and Andrew. Damn, Andrew's almost 70. Really hanging on there. Alright, let's do it. I'm glad that we decided to keep Christy and Andrew in our vanguard instead of like appointing Andrew to the standard and appointing Christy to the regency, because we did have another battle with them.
It's a fine day for battle, all things considered.
Every day is a fine day for battle.
And if we had moved them, we would be facing a couple not so great battles ahead, missing some relics. Also, I feel bad for Christy because her armor was almost researched, but look at the beautiful armor of all of our other people. It pays to have some good shit. Okay, Andrew may be able to shoot this lapse from here, and we're gonna do that. Let's take it out ASAP, why not? Now Abel could run all the way up there, which creates an interesting dynamic. Christy, I'm going to move here. So we may have Christy use a flask, but if we can have our Caberjacks run up there and inflict some melee damage, I may do that instead. The thing about Christy is I want to kind of pick that first, just because I don't want to throw a flask when we have Caberjacks out there. It looks like only Abel can actually reach that lapse up there, so I am going to have him throw that knockback flask, but I'm going to have it aimed at these two seeds. Just because Abel can take out this lapse pretty handedly. 27 to 34. We could do a knockback and that might stun both of these guys. But I'm not too worried about the seed, so I'm just going to do a standard hit to take this lapse out now. Okay, and then I'm going to have Olivier come over here, but in stealth, since we do know that there's a wrinkler further up. And Leanne going forward. So yeah, we're seeing, like, literally the second that we get past year 150, those advanced units start to show up. We're still facing regular lapses, and it looks like regular wrinklers, but we're fighting advanced seeds now, which are definitely the weakest of the advanced units, but their health pretty much jumped from 12 to 32. And the damage that they do against our units, as you can see, is much higher, with Abel taking the brunt of that right now. That rebound, though, coming into play, that is the best ability by far. Okay, so we know that there's enemies across the way to the right. We're going to try and dispatch these guys while we only have them to focus on. I'm going to move Andrew up here. It's probably going to be just the seeds that Andrew can go for, so we'll just try and take one of them out. Unfortunately, Abel is stunned for this turn. So I'm gonna have Christy maybe come up and do the hack and slash, because that might guarantee us an actual kill on the Wrangler. I'm gonna move him right here. Oh, didn't even need it. That critical took him out in one swoop. Okay, Leanne cannot get up to the laps, unfortunately, which is not too big of a deal. Leanne can only do 37% to hit this seed, which isn't great. 44 for Olivier. So we're probably going to have to try with both of them. The good thing about the Caberjacks, at least, with their hit ratio, is that if they miss, they still do a glancing blow, which is at least a little bit of damage. But yeah, you can see fighting these advanced enemies, we're really going to want that elite weapons training, because I think that's going to really help us with the just the actual hit percentage. And we can already see, even just fighting seeds, that that is impacting us heavily. Alright, I'm going to move Andrew up just a little bit more. Have Andrew try and get this far lapse here. So I'd rather not have our Caberjacks be the ones taking out the lapses, since they explode and they push them back, and sometimes they can stun them. That lapse's explosion actually worked really well because it stunned this lapse up here. Gonna have Leanne and Olivier basically just give this seed another shot and see if they can't take him out. Not quite. Christy can definitely take out this lapse. If we go here, she won't get stunned by it. There's one more seed back there, but that explosion actually stunned it too, so that gives us kind of a, you know, a buy on their turn. And I'm going to have Abel hopefully finish this off.
Yes.
Nice.
Calm down, you're going to tip us over.
Alright, now we kind of have a little bit of a brief time to reset. We have one seed over here that we definitely want to get rid of. So we're going to have Christy at least focus on that, and probably one more of our units. Gonna see if Andrew can't shoot him from here. I did reveal a seed over here, so I'm inclined to actually have Andrew shoot for that seed. So we're gonna see if Olivier or Leanne can't take this guy out. Nice. Alright, that frees Andrew up to try and hit this guy at least once. That way, by the time he gets up to us, it's a very, very easy shot to take and just get rid of him. I'm going to move Abel up just to kind of support Andrew, and I am going to have... I'm going to keep Abel from healing because he's only down 6 health. And he could spare to lose a little bit more, and he'll be fine. And then I'm going to have Leanne just come up right behind him and actually sprint over to this side. Perfect, that seed didn't even move, which I love. So I'm going to move Andrew up just to see what else we're facing. There is a Wrangler over there as well, good to know. Well, this presents us with a good opportunity. I can actually knock this seed back into that Wrangler. We're going to do that. Okay, never mind. They're still far enough away to where I don't think that we're actually in any immediate danger. But I'm going to have Abel come up just a little bit, not a ton. And we're going to have Leanne do the same, but just be right back here. Basically, I'm just hoping that these two seeds in this Wrangler will sprint up towards us, so that we don't have to make the first move. Move Christy back here. And then we're just going to sit tight. Oh yeah. Okay, so that one was close enough. Ooh, and that's a heavy hit on Andrew. But that was the only one that was that close. Okay, from here, I'm going to have Christy run up. And again, since I don't want anybody to be caught in the crossfire, we got a 100% chance on this. So I'm just going to have Christy throw their flask here. Hell yeah. And that softens up those enemies enough to where we can send in our other guys to just finish them off. I'm going to have Leanne go for the Wrinkler. Maybe. Olivier. Leanne. It really doesn't matter. Abel could take him out 100%. I'm trying to give Leanne and Olivier, I don't know, an opportunity to get some more experience. Nice. And we can see that Wrinkler back there as well. We're going to want to pay attention to that. I don't want to use any units to go any further than where Leanne is currently because of that. Nice. And Andrew can hopefully take a shot at this Wrinkler from here. Again, he's only lost 7 health, not a full 10, so I think it's okay that we're not healing him quite yet. I like the fact that the Wrinkler is going to be rushing at us with half health. And I'm going to have Abel come up right here just to get that Pack Hunter ability and then keep him. Unfortunately, he was close enough to get to Leanne, so Leanne got 5 years on him. But it was only 1 damage, thankfully. Since he did take those 5 years, I'm going to see if Leanne can't get the experience for that at least. Nice. And then we're going to move Andrew forward. Doesn't look like there's any other enemies in this section. I have Abel come up here. And we'll just sprint Olivier up just to make sure. Alright, yeah, this section is empty and clear. Can't really stealth anywhere with it. Since we're empty now, I'm tempted to use our health vials just so that we're not hurting in the future on that. But I'm gonna hold off. Hopefully just for one more enemy encounter. Now that I'm thinking about it, this is kind of the, we've gotten through a decent amount of enemies, not all of the enemies, but if there was a section to like regroup or whatever, this would be the section, and we haven't revealed any enemies yet. So I am going to bring everybody forward, but everybody who needs to heal, I'm going to take the time to do that for them now. Since they're all close enough to getting 10 health back, so I don't feel like it's a total waste. Abel come up by just 1 more than everybody else, since he's kind of the ringleader of this. And then we'll have Andrew kind of bring up the back, but they're all kind of bunched up. That way pretty much everybody is back at max health except for Leanne. And I don't want to give Leanne that yet because they've only lost 4. I don't feel the need to use a health pack just on 4 health. Okay, now we're going to bring Andrew up just since he's ranged. And here we have, yep, our next batch of enemies. Thankfully, that's a really good ratio to see them at because they're all spread out. And they're all far enough away to where none of them can reach us. The Lapse is the only ranged unit, so I'm going to try and take that one out first. Awesome. And then I'm pretty much just going to inch everybody else up to be at the same sight line as Andrew. I don't want them to accidentally reveal anything more. So we're pretty much just going to be at the start of this bridge. Anybody who's got the Pack Hunter personality trait will also just do better because of that. And then we'll just all keep them put. And Andrew is kind of going to be our main helper until those units get a little bit closer. But I'm going to try and take both of these out if we can, before moving too much more. I think we'll inch them all closer just by at least one each time. See, yeah, because there are other enemies out there. Wrinkler's still not close enough, I don't think, to hit us, so I'm going to try for this lapse. Nice. And that actually stunned that Wrinkler, which gives us a very good opportunity to move close enough to strike next time. That kind of changes up the plan a little bit, especially because Abel can actually hit him right now. It's very tempting. Very tempting to do that. Before we do that, I'm going to move Olivier over here just to verify that, see, yeah, there's another Wrinkler right there. So if we had rushed up there, we would have left our units very open for something not so great to happen. I am going to move Abel here because that Wrinkler can't reach us from that far away, but he can hopefully start moving in that direction. Leanne's going to pretty much mirror that. Okay, we can see some seeds over there. And then I'm going to have Christy just kind of come up and round that out. Because hopefully if these Wrinklers are near each other by the end of this next turn, I can have a flask thrown in their direction. We'll see how far this Wrinkler moves, though. Okay, that actually worked out really well. So it looks like 2 Wrinklers, a decent pack of seeds, at least 4 of them. And they're starting to break through. So Abel can do a lot of damage. Andrew can too, though, and Andrew has that point blank shot. So I'm going to have Andrew try that with this Wrinkler here. Nice. And that'll free Olivier up to hopefully take this guy out. Damn it. We're kind of blocked off by this Wrinkler too. So part of me wants Leanne to give it a shot, but if Leanne misses, that's kind of a big problem. So I'm going to have Abel finish that out instead. Nice. And then Leanne... Ooh, is Leanne actually blocked by Abel? Dang, I didn't realize that. So that is tough. It's not what I wanted, ideally. I'm gonna see if there... This is tough. I'm gonna have Leanne come up and at least give this attack a fair shot. Nice. Unfortunately, that Wrinkler, since I walled us off without paying attention, is going to do some damage. We could see the knockback might be our best bet. So I'm going to have Christy just move forward just by 1 to get slightly better range. And then we're going to throw this knockback blast. I like the 90% here. And it does slightly more damage in the middle. But, 88 here, and that'll push him backwards. But I'm a little worried that it'll just be too close to our heroes. I'm going to go for it right there. Still worked. Missed, but it did 20 damage. It didn't stun him, but at least he's at half health. Ooh. Did he make it? Andrew is like 70 years old. Andrew's super old now. Crazy that those seeds do so much damage now. But they're bunched up, which is good. Okay. Well, I think Andrew has the best hit percentage, most likely, against these guys. But actually, Abel can take him out just right now. So I'm going to do that, just so we don't have to worry. The Wrinkler is the only one that really puts our units in danger of death because they can die by that old age. And yeah, Andrew's 74 now, which is just a lot. I'm going to move Leanne back just because of how light he is on health, and I'm going to have him use his health vial since he's the only member of Vanguard that hasn't yet. Then I'm going to focus on Christy and move Christy forward just a tiny bit so that we can get a really good rate on this knockback flask and hopefully stun both of these. Wow, it actually just took that one out because of the impact. Works for me. Now Olivier, I'm going to have come over here with the knockback and see if it can't knock him back into that other seed too. Hopefully stunning them both. Yes. And then that just leaves Andrew with these two. And if we are in a good line, I still don't know if that's going to line up in the way that we need it to. Because if we hit it from here, he would go that way. I don't think there's really a way for that guy to hit this guy. So the knockback doesn't do a ton of damage. I'm just going to do a standard attack with him. Damn it. Hey, that rebound though. It's much better to just get attacked by these two seeds as opposed to all four of those. And that was beautiful because they set it up to where they both stunned themselves. That means this next turn we're free to just pick these guys off pretty much. So I'm going to have Leanne maybe? We'll see here what the plan is. Gonna have Olivier just try. Maybe not actually. Yeah, we're gonna go with Abel to just knock these guys back again, or maybe actually knock these guys back because his percentage is so good. And stun him again. That way we still have to not worry about that higher level seed back there. This way Olivier can come up and try and get some experience. Yeah, I'm not too surprised. We'll have Leanne do the same. And that worked out really well. So in that case, we can have Andrew come up here. Shoot a knockback, because why not? Damn it. Since Christy still has hack and slash, I'm going to have Christy give this higher health seed a hit. Nice.
I get way too excited about this.
That way Abel can focus just on that one higher health seed back there. We can have our younger guys hit this. And let's see if Abel can't just take him out right here, right now. Almost. So close. I think Andrew is able to get close enough to be in range. Do one final shot. Oof. Okay. And unfortunately, nobody else is really close enough. No, Christy will take a shot too. Nice. Hell yeah.
Call the cooks. For every pawn killed today, I want a roasted turkey waiting for that hero.
Just shutting the door on vegetarians again, huh? You always forget about the vegetarians.
Oh, excuse me, yes. Sorted salads as well, please.
Awesome. Well, we got through it. We had a massive victory. We've prevailed in the salt stacks. Christy and Leanne both leveled up. Olivier and Andrew are very close. This is probably Andrew's last battle, and by probably I mean definitely. And it's likely to be Abel's as well. So I'm glad that they were able to make it through there. I'm glad they were able to get a lot of kills by doing it. Christy got to level 6, so we have a couple new abilities here. Prime target, taunt all visible enemies to attack this hero and gain a temporary armor boost, or the acid solution. Melee attacks and flasks also deliver corrosive acid which damages targets over time. That is amazing. And we're doing it. And then Leanne has leveled up. We're just going to give Leanne rebound because it's rebound. It's the best. All right. Joshua Killinger A level 5 male hunter has joined our roster. And so yeah, that's the other big tough thing that I kind of forgot about as far as that's the second half of this game is, since we're being attacked from 3 places instead of just 2 places now, 2 territories are going to get cadence every time there's a battle. That's going to ramp up just so much faster than it has been. That's also what contributes to the difficulty. Like, we're definitely going to lose more regions, and we're in a little bit of trouble since we have 2 keeps on the outlying regions, so we really got to keep this whole sector safe. It's going to be these 4 outlying regions that we can let go, because I don't plan on building anything else unless we really have to. Awesome, so our alchemists can finally crack open the barrel of old Verhoeven because their advanced armor is finished. I don't know what Verhoeven is, but I assume that it's liquor and that it's good. Now we pretty much have to bull rush right into our weapons training, because as we were noticing, like, I think, yeah, what it says is, really it doesn't tell you too much about it, but I'm assuming that not only does the base damage increase, but also just the accuracy against fighting the advanced units. So even though everybody's fighting with relics, I'm hoping that this caber training and the weapons training in general will just level up their finesse, not only their relic. Cadence Child. I haven't read this one before. A distraught man comes to you and begins by saying that his family lives near the corruption line. I was playing outside with my children recently when my daughter yells out that she sees something in the curdle, her word for the corruption. Before I could stop her, she ran into it, and I watched her age into dust. Now, I accept what happened, but these are strange days we're in, so I have to ask, is there any hope for her? Yikes. So we got a couple options here. We can say, I don't know, but I'll send Michael, one of my Sagerites, to investigate. Or, I don't know, but I'll send Joshua, one of my heroes, to investigate. Or, no, I'm afraid not. Well, let's look at Joshua. Low fertility, clumsy, rebel, but optimistic. He's kind of a good one to send, if we're being honest here. Michael's 62. He's got great intuition, so I'd love to not lose him. It's really tough. I think we should send somebody. I feel like if we send Michael, we have a better shot at, like, discovering something. I think if we send Joshua, we have a better shot at him just walking into the corruption and dying. So I'm going to send Michael. He's 62. He probably doesn't have too much longer left. Hopefully, though, this yields a good result, not a bad one. Relief mission. The man is extremely grateful. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. It's far more than I ever expected, and I promise I won't inconvenience you for long. It's not like I don't know she might be. I just want to be sure. As he leaves the capital with Michael, you hope they find some good news. Michael has left the Sagerites Guild. And that's going to take 2 years, it looks like, to resolve. Joshua actually has 9 intuition, and so I'm going to throw him in here because I hate his traits, and we're not going to use him for anything else. That way it's kind of like a straight swap for Sagerites, just in case something bad does happen. Oh no. Michael died on the trip over there. We've already replaced him with Joshua, so it works out, but I guess we're never going to know if there was something in there. That might be a good ending for that, honestly.
As long as the seat is open, morning will have to wait.
Because if something bad happened, like we brought this weird Cadence Child back and it like blew up our Sagerites Guild again, that I'm kind of okay with that. Brian Foxfire has passed away. He was, again, the regent that we saved from the Cadence, so that hurts my heart a little bit more than it normally does. Let's check over at our fertility rates. It's really just Karis that's got high fertility. Oh wow. Hardy, quick study, wily, patriotic, and alert. And really the best out of the siblings, that the people that Brian had. Looks like it was his first kid. He's 47, so he probably won't be around for too long, unfortunately. But he's what we got. Trish is still around, but I really don't love her traits. And Layla has some decent traits. Not amazing, but not terrible. So I'm gonna throw Layla in there more, I think. Creates an enforcer still. Yeah, because Trisha would create a trick shot, which I'd rather not have as well. Hopefully they have some kids, because the Foxfires do only have one in their keep, so they do. I'd like them to get a couple more.
Sad day for the Regency.
As long as the seat is open, morning will have to wait.
Yeah, we're losing all of our regions for sure. Alright, so same deal for the Castillans. Fertility-wise, no one has high fertility, but we'll check and see if they have decent traits. Alice, who's 2 years away, actually has good traits. So I think I'm going to pull something that I normally don't, but we're going to throw Alice in there. It means 2 years without kids, but I think that's going to be the best bet. And then we have, yeah, Aaron and Obsidian. So Aaron has good personality traits that I like. Obsidian doesn't have any. So if there's one that's not going to go to the Zellakar line, I think it would be Obsidian. So I'm going to throw Obsidian in here. He'll have to wait for 2 years, but then they're going to be able to bring some people into the Castilian bloodline. Abel has passed away. He did well. So the last friend, which is now level 5, we can pass on to somebody else. Got Mershawn, decreased dexterity, which is not too good. Aaron, who we're probably going to use for our keep. Simon, who has decent traits. Jared. Oh, Jared was also bountiful. Well, between all of them, I think Jared's the one, because we're not going to throw Jared into the Regency. He is bountiful, but I don't like his traits as much. Means he might not be as useful as Abel was, for example, because he's optimistic, sluggish, and puny. Those are all actually just trash traits. But I think that we can work with that for now, because the last friend has leveled up so much that that's gonna be helpful. Hey, there's that kid in the Foxfires. That's what I like to see.
We'll send word to the partner immediately.
And then Rolf, yep. So that means in this episode, just all of our regions passed away. So yeah, as far as fertility goes, we've got Aaron or Jared, but we gave Jared that relic. I love Aaron's traits and personality, which is why I wanted him for the Regency. He's a little bit younger too. And then we'll just see what he can work with. So Katie, not great. Zem, brainy. Almost good. Sickly and sluggish kind of bring it down, unfortunately. I want to keep it a Shadowjack if we can. Ray is not too bad, but not super helpful for the class that we're looking at. So I think Zem or Katie, but I really don't like Katie's traits. I don't like Zem's traits either, for being honest. I think we might go with Ray just for now. With the heart disease, we're gonna have to pick a new partner for Aaron, and so we might get lucky with somebody else who's got traits that work a little bit more in line with what we want.
Let's do it.
All right, and at year 170, we've got another battle coming up. I'm going to end the episode here. We've only got 2 cadence attacks, which is nice to see. Either way, I look forward to fighting some more cadence, kicking them real good in the butt, and I don't know, soldiering on. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.